True love is not merely a sentiment or an emotion, it is a living principle, a principle that is manifest in action. True love, wherever it exists, will control the life, and so it is with the love of God. God is love, and in all His works, in the beauty of creation, in the intricacy of every detail, His character is revealed. When God created the world, He pronounced it very good, and every part of it proclaimed His love. But God's greatest demonstration of love came not just in the creation of the world, but in the sacrifice of His Son. It was a love so deep, so sacrificial, that it changed the course of history. I was raised in church, so I always knew about God's love. But I never truly understood what it meant until I was at a very low point in my life. I had everything I thought I needed: a good job, family, friends. But inside I was empty, feeling like I was just going through the motions, but never truly alive. I had a void inside that nothing seemed to fill. One day, I was reading about Christ's suffering, about how He endured the agony of the cross for my sins. I had read it many times before, but that day, something clicked. I realized that He didn't just die for the world in some abstract sense. He died for me. He took all my pain, my shame, my loneliness upon Himself, and in that moment, I finally understood the depth of God's love. It wasn't just a love that said, "I care about you." It was a love that was willing to endure the deepest agony and separation for me. For the first time, I felt seen. I felt like God wasn't distant, but right there with me, in the middle of my darkness. He understood my pain because He had suffered too. He was willing to take on the burden of the world, including mine, so that I could be healed. The love of God is not abstract, it is personal. Jesus, in His suffering, carried the weight of the world's sin, your sin and mine. The Father gave up what was most precious to Him, His only Son, to save us from sin. He sacrificed everything so that we could have eternal life, a life free from the chains of sin and death. That revelation changed everything. I began to experience healing in places I didn't even know were broken. The anxiety started to lose its grip. I began to see the world differently, through the eyes of someone who had been loved so deeply, so sacrificially. And slowly, I found peace. Not because my life was perfect, but because I knew I wasn't alone anymore. God had shown me that He was with me, that His love was stronger than my fears, stronger than my mistakes. That love, the love that healed me, became the love I wanted to share with others. I realized that the greatest way to live out God's love is through service, through sacrifice, just like Christ did for me. Although I'm not perfect, I can offer what I have: my time, my talents, my heart, my hands, my life, to reflect the love that was so freely given to me. The love God demonstrated in giving His Son is beyond comprehension. It was a sacrifice so profound, so complete, that it cannot be measured by human standards. When Adam's sin plunged the human race into hopelessness, God could have walked away. But He didn't. Instead, He drew closer, closer to us in our suffering, closer to us in our need. He sent His Son to die in our place. Through Christ's death and resurrection, God demonstrated the greatest love, a love that conquers all. It is the same love that heals broken hearts, that restores broken lives, and calls us to live as He did, in service to others, offering the same sacrificial love He has given to us. Now, when I look at the cross, I don't just see a symbol. I see God's ultimate act of love, the greatest sacrifice ever made. And it reminds me every day that I am loved beyond measure, no matter what I've been through or what I will face. God's love has no bounds. It is sacrificial, it is redemptive, and it is for you. The question is, will you accept that love? Will you allow it to transform your life, just as it transformed the life of this person and countless others throughout history? God gave His all so that you could live in His love. And that love is waiting for you right now.